Hi, my name is Isabel Kenyon, and today's vlog is going to be about looking at how we can maximise your chance of success when you submit your manuscript to a small publisher. Hope they're going to be helpful. Let's start. My first tip would be make sure that you don't have a book published with another small press 6 months before you submit your manuscript and 6 months after the manuscript is accepted. And that's because you are limiting the amount of people who will buy your book. So if they bought one 6 months earlier, you've probably exhausted that customer base and your publisher will have to work harder to establish a new one. And of course, they might have their own publisher base of potential customers and people that follow their books religiously. But what they are hoping is that you come with some of that audience and you bring your own sort of flavour of people. And they'll be wanting something new. So make sure that you give that publisher the opportunity for the book to do well and generate lots of sales. So submit a book when the first one has had time to breathe. And when this current one has had a bit of time to breathe, then you can think about submitting to another publisher, and that will do the small press justice. My second tip would be that you don't want to completely copy what they have already within their catalogue of books. So by that I mean that, for example, if they have a mental health anthology, that's great. They're clearly interested in that in the past. But actually what a small publisher is looking for is something new. So your best policy is to look at their about section, see what kind of things they like to publish, see what kind of styles, and definitely read a few of their books and see what that style is, but do not copy the theme. So they're probably not going to be interested in publishing the same thing again. This next one, hopefully not many of you would do anyway, but I have seen a few people do it. So basically, don't send a cover design or your concept for illustration along with that cover design and the illustration to your manuscript submission. And that's because one, it's quite presumptuous, and two, it spoils the fun for the publisher who does have the creative right to create your cover, who has a whole aesthetic to do with their house style. So that does go against all of that. Please don't do it. And by the way, I should have caveated that one, that of course if you and your illustrator are working together and it's a collaborative project, then that's completely different. Okay, so on to my last one, which is, this is more of a if you can. This will give you an advantage if you can prove it, and an advantage to your book once chosen in terms of sales. So if you can be part of the literary community in terms of live events and be part of that. And I know not everyone feels comfortable going to spoken word events and performing, but if you can engage in either a writing group that does feedback or spoken word nights where you perform and hear other people perform, then you are really already widening your audience. And I do find that as a small press, the writers that are not part of these nights and not part of writing groups have half their audience. And that's just because in a small press world, we tend to support each other. So if you're not supporting other writers within the small press world, you might find that they don't come and support you, which, is the way it works in the literary world. And I would like to hope that you would want to engage in that anyway. And that's always really positive as a publisher, because it shows that you're not a selfish person, you really want to give back to the literary community, and that is all a small press is really, that's why we do it, it's for the love of it. I hope these have been helpful and really look forward to reading your manuscript if you're submitting it to fly on the wall. If not, best of luck wherever you submit it. I hope these help.